Alright everyone, so it is currently 6 a.m. in the morning and we are here at the Oslo airport on our way to Tromsø. And so we took the taxi from Oslo Central, even though the trains were operating, but taxi was almost the same price as the train. The train would have taken us around 30 minutes and the taxi took us around 35, so it was pretty much the same. And right now most of the shops at the airport are closed, so I'm just going to wait if anything opens up before we get on the plane to grab some coffee. And the flight to Tromsø is around 2 hours, so we should be there by 10. Hopefully the weather isn't that bad. I think it is going to snow, so that's going to be fun. So I'll see you all in Tromsø. Even got a little Christmas tree over here. So this is what 2 p.m. in Tromsø looks like during December. So it is raining and it is extremely windy and it is cold. Alright everyone, so now we are here on the streets of Tromsø. And currently it is 2 p.m. in the afternoon, but as you can see it is pretty dark and I don't think we have seen the sun since we got here yesterday. It has been continuously raining, but right now the rain has stopped, so that gave me an opportunity to take out my camera and make a bit over here in the town center. So we have the Aurora activity planned for later in the evening. And yesterday we were planning to go to the cable car, but due to the windy, I would say, weather and continuous rain, they had stopped it. Even today morning it was stopped, so it is currently not operating. But if we get a chance tomorrow, then we will check that out. We also have the plan for visiting the Aurora Borealis. So I think the cruise is going to be for I think around 8 hours, and it leaves from the Tromsø pier, which is just close to the place where we are staying. And one thing that I am currently struggling with, like everybody else, is the ice, and it gets really slippery, especially after the rain. So I have to be really cautious where I'm walking. And let's say if the Google map is showing me I can get there in, let's say, 3 to 5 minutes, but it's taking more than that because of the snow. So I'm just thinking, should I get the spikes for my shoes and will that help or not? But yeah, so right now since the rain has stopped, I'm just trying to explore as much of the town center as I can. It isn't that big, so it shouldn't take that long, but I think most of the things that people do over here are the activities when it comes to Tromsø, like the Aurora lights, the cruise, the cable car, also the dog sled. The dog sled that we had planned is also cancelled again because of the weather. It's raining, so they cannot operate the sleds in that weather. Other than that, I think the food is really great. So all of the restaurants that we've tried so far, we've been to 3. The food has been phenomenal. Like, I wasn't expecting that, given like how touristy the place is. I was expecting it to be a bit of a tourist trap, but nevertheless, yeah, the food was just amazing. So definitely give that a go. Again, given that it is Norway, everything is much more expensive, but again, you get the quality. So yeah, it was really surprising and it did not disappoint. So definitely a 5 out of 5 experience. Halal options are not as much as I would as much as I thought we would have, because of, again, location being touristy, but also haven't seen many places. Even on Google Maps, you just give you a couple of options. We'll give that a go and let you know how that turns out. So that is the view of the other side of the Tromsø city. I don't know if it's visible from here or not, but yeah, that's the other side of Tromsø city. And this is the Tromsø seaport. This is where we will leave from for the whale watching cruise experience. Yeah, I think the cruise itself is quite big. I don't know which one did we book, but they have a lot of options over here. But yeah, looks pretty nice. Hopefully the weather is nice so we can watch some Aurora whales. And now I don't know if you can tell or not, but it has again started to rain, and this is one of the things I've been struggling to make some videos over here, is that as soon as we come out it's not raining, but then in a couple of minutes the weather changes and then I have to put my camera back in but yeah, I'm trying my best to get as much of the city as possible. And they have, I would say, a small version of the Christmas market over here, where they have a couple of these small shops where you can get something to eat, a quick bite. And they also have a snowman over here. And this is the main town center of Tromsø, where they have a lot of these shops. And yeah, I haven't seen any designers, but they do have their local Norwegian brands that you can get a lot of your, I would say, snow stuff from. You can check this out. Pretty small and convenient to get to. And they also have a lot of these 7-Elevens over here. This is where the snow makes it harder to walk, and you have these small patches all over the town center, so you have to be extremely careful when you are walking. I've seen a lot of people having spikes on their shoes, and that does help, but I don't know if I want to get those or not. And even some places do not allow you to have those spikes on your shoes, so you have to take them off before you enter those restaurants or places. So yeah, and again, if you look at the sky right now, it is just 2:30 p.m. but it feels like it is, I don't know, midnight or something. Yeah. It is currently snowing heavily right now. That's pretty amazing views. Alright everyone, so we are now currently on the Brim Explorer for the Aurora night cruise. So we originally had booked the whale watching tour for the morning, but due to unforeseen circumstances and the severe weather condition here in Tromsø, that was cancelled. So we were offered either to get a full refund, or we could have gone for a different tour in the evening. So we had two options. We had one with the Aurora dinner cruise, and the other one was just the Aurora electric cruise. So we just went for the one without the dinner because we were not sure what options they would have for the dinner. And most probably, I checked online, they did not have many halal options. It was just a vegetarian, so not really worth it. So I think we'll get a partial refund because this cruise is only for 3.5 hours, and it is slightly cheaper than the whale watching because the whale watching was 8 hours and it goes further away than the Aurora cruise. So let's see how that turns out. And yesterday our Aurora night chase was really underwhelming. So we are currently here on the Aurora hunting for the Aurora lights. We got to see a little bit of it, but nothing too intense. But yeah. And disappointing because we did get some good shots on the camera and the phone, but we were not able to see much through our naked eye. And I think that's almost the case. And like, yeah, again, maybe some people have a different experience, but ours was that we drove all the way to Finland, but yeah, we were not able to see much from our own eyes. But the camera and the pictures I took were far better. And yeah, so that was it. And let's see how the cruise will turn out tonight. The weather conditions are not very favorable for the Aurora show because it's still very cloudy close to Tromsø, but yeah, you never know, the weather might change and we might be able to see something. So overall, I would say that due to the weather, a lot of the trips were cancelled today, and even the dog sled that we booked in the morning was cancelled. I think we had reindeer feeding option, but that was way too early because we got in around at 4 last night from the Aurora chase tour, so that was not really possible for us given the time when we arrived. But yeah, hopefully we can see maybe a smaller show for Aurora tonight. Yeah, let's see if we can get lucky. That is the view of the city from the second deck outside. It is currently really cloudy, and yeah, so we're not very hopeful that we would be able to see any auroras, but if we do, that would be really, really amazing. Alright everyone, so this brings us to the end of our Tromsø adventure, and to be honest, like, we were here for 3 days, so we were not able to see the northern lights, not even once. We did the northern lights chasing tours yesterday in the van. We drove almost 3.5 hours outside the city, and we even traveled into Finland, but still we were not able to see anything from our naked eyes, but we did get some cool pictures. So that is one thing that I learned with the northern lights, is that you usually get to see it from the lens if you are putting it on high exposure, but from your eyes it's really hard to see unless the solar activity is really, really intense. So that is one thing that you need to be mindful of. The second thing is that I am here now in December. It was not that easy to find the northern lights because of the weather, and in Tromsø the weather changes like by the hour, so you never know whether it's going to rain or it's going to snow, so that also can hinder your plan. So speaking to a lot of locals over here, most of them suggested that you should be here for at least 5 to 8 days, which is a bit excessive, I would say. So that is where you get the highest chance of looking at the northern lights. But if you're here just like myself for only a couple of days, it would not be that easy. And yeah, so making a trip over here, especially in Tromsø, things are like really expensive. The hotels, the food, even though the quality of the food is really great, but it is still expensive compared to other cities. So yeah, you need to really plan it out. And we also felt that most of the tours that we booked, so a lot of them knew that we would not be able to find the northern lights, but they still carried out the tour. So that is one thing you need to see. They do offer full refunds in case the weather gets really bad, but that only happens when they feel that there might be a risk, it is an emergency that is outside of their control. Other than that, if they feel that we will not be able to see the northern lights, but the weather is fine enough for us to venture into that area, they would still take you there. And the thing is that, again, the tours are really, really expensive, so it would cost you somewhere around 150 to 200 pounds depending on which one you're taking. And again, these are not private tours, these are mostly in a group setting. Yeah, that can be really disappointing, that you pay this much money for the tickets, the hotel, the tours, the food, and then in the end you don't even get to see the northern lights. So overall, I mean, like, I don't want to say it, but it just feels a bit scammy, in the sense that it's very hard for you to ever see the northern lights from your eyes, especially when you see the pictures online. It can be really misleading. And this year, according to most of the reports online, this was the year that had the highest solar activity since the past 11 years, I would say. But even then, like, we were not able to see it. Yeah, and one other thing I'd like to add is that regardless of the prices, the food quality is really, really high. I did enjoy the food. Yeah, so that is one thing that you can look forward to. But given the prices, some people might not even feel that it is worth it. Not many halal options, I would say. You do get a lot of seafood and some Italian, I would say, places that are really authentic, and you can find good pizza. But other than that, even the food options are really limited. When it comes to Norwegian food, there isn't much of a traditional Norwegian cuisine, I would say. Like, most of what I have tried is that were the Norwegian waffles. But yeah, other than that, it's pretty basic, and you'll get like a lot of tomato soup if you are into that. But yeah, that was pretty much it. So yeah, so this brings us to the end of our Tromsø adventure. I'm heading back to Oslo in the morning. So this was it from my side for Tromsø, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.